Hello everyone and welcome to the Gooner Factory where we speak everything Arsenal. And this is the daily video where we discuss the news stories and updates, but we also discuss things that the listeners would like my opinion on. So if there's anything at all that you would like me to speak on, leave it in the comments section and I will speak about it in tomorrow's video. So let's get into it. So we're going to start on something that I was asked by one of you guys. So thanks to Steve for the question. And that is, does Tomiyasu deserve more game time? And my answer is basically yes, but it's difficult because look, Tomiyasu is 100% good enough to start for a top side, but it's like, where does he play? And although I would start him at the minute, that will probably change in a few months' time. But let's talk about why I would start him at the minute and sort of where I would play him. So I would actually start Tomiyasu at left back over Zinchenko. Now Zinchenko at this point, we know what we're getting. You're getting a good, not great player, in my opinion. But look, there's been times in the past where he's had a great game, but there's just something missing there for me. And now I can kind of see why Pep may have been happy to let him go, because we know the ability he can have going forward. He's technically very good. He's great in midfield when he sort of floats in from left back and helps overload the middle of the park. But in my opinion, he's just not strong enough defensively. He's not physical enough. He's not fast enough to keep up with the quickest wingers in the league. So whatever you are gaining going forward, I feel like you're sort of losing that when defending. And that's why I would actually start Tomiyasu at the minute. Because defensively, look, he's big, he's strong. And even Arteta has said on previous occasions that one-on-one, he's one of the best defenders that Arsenal have. And he's even surprised me this season. He seems to have taken a leaf out of Zinchenko's book, because we've seen him playing in that sort of same role where he does float into midfield. And I've been pleasantly surprised with how well he can actually play. He seems to link well. He manages the tight spaces okay. He does have an attacking presence that I didn't necessarily associate with him last season. But with all that being said, do I see him as the long-term left back for Arsenal? And the answer is no. Because I do think we actually have someone who's a better all-round player in our squad. And that person is, of course, jurrien Timber, the player we brought from Ajax in the summer for £38 million, and he's only played twice for the club because he tore his ACL. I mean, talk about being unlucky. That's a terrible injury to pick up, let alone at the start of being in a new club. So I do think Timber will be the long-term option for Arsenal. But to answer your question, Steve, does Tomiyasu deserve more game time? The answer right now is yes. So the next subject we'll be talking about is, does Arteta have a headache on his hands? And I mean this because we have Trossard, who at the minute is on fire, with many people, pundits and even rival fans saying this guy deserves more game time. But then you have the fact that Gabriel Jesus is Arsenal's main man, and he has been pictured back in first team training with Brazil. So does that mean he's ready to go for Arsenal like now? And what will Arteta do? Look, I think you have to stick with Trossard for now, and I'll tell you why. I can't remember Trossard having a run in the team of, say, sort of 15 games. That is crazy when you think of how good a player he is. And I know he's not an out-and-out striker, and you're not going to play him on the wings over Martinelli or Saka. But since there's been a vacancy in the striker position with both Gabriel Jesus and Nketiah being injured, he's come in and he's done really well. 2 goals in his last 2 games is something we shouldn't ignore. And I think the more he plays, the better he will get. And let's not forget, Trossard was Arsenal's best player on the pre-season tour. So we all know he has the ability. He's just always been unlucky because he will get subbed on and you know, he'll usually score a goal, but then the next game he goes straight back to being sub, and that must be super frustrating. And that's because the manager has in his head that he wants to play Martinelli, Saka and Jesus as the front three. And I don't necessarily disagree with him, but with Jesus just coming back from injury, you know, he's just returning to full training. There's no need to rush him back into the team for a couple of reasons. Not only is he injury prone, you have an informed player in Trossard playing up front, playing well, scoring goals. So leave it as it is for now. And I think Trossard will continue to develop in that number 9 role. Now, he's never going to be a conventional number 9 in the sense that he's not big, he's not particularly strong, he's probably not the best in the air, but he does have qualities that Arsenal can take advantage of. One of them is that for a small player, he can actually hold the ball up relatively well. For the main reason being that he's just so good with the ball at his feet. So when you play the ball into him, it's almost impossible to get it off him, because before you know it, he's either gone past you or he's played someone else in. And I think he can also switch positions with Martinelli, who can play down the middle as well. We've seen that in Brazil's last game, they played him up front and he scored a goal. So that's a massive bonus for Arsenal, having another player that can play on the wing or as a striker. So what would you do? Would you keep playing Trossard, or would you bring Gabriel Jesus straight back into the side? Let me know in the comments section. And as I said, if there's anything you want me to talk about in tomorrow's video, let me know and I'll do that. And as always, thanks for watching and listening. And if you could, please like the video and subscribe. It helps me massively. And I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Gooners, Have a good day.